Hello there. Hello then, welcome to Homo Politicos. This is Enterprise Television. Kingsley Obase is my name. Let's turn attention today on the show as we spotlight Professor Mahmood Yakubu, who formerly now has stepped aside as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission after a remarkable 10-year tenure. First appointed by former President Muhammadu Buhari in November 2015, Professor Yakubu steered Nigeria's electoral body through two 5-year terms, and he did earn himself a reappointment in 2020, guiding the commission from a series of fraught polls into an era of biometric registers, digital accreditation, and real-time results transmission. Well, that part controversial, but yeah, we'll get to that. Well, he's now stepped aside, handing the reins to May Agbamuche-Mbu in an acting capacity, and today on the program we'll be assessing the impact of his decade-long stewardship, the modernization of our voter register, the reforms in election management, and the challenges that lie ahead for Nigeria's democracy. Let's discuss Professor Mahmood's legacy and explore what his departure means for the future of credible elections in Nigeria. Welcome again to the broadcast. Kingsley Bass is my name. I'm joined today, virtually though, by the President's Credibility Group and former President of Kenga, an Igbo cultural think tank, Chief Godi Wazurike. He joins me virtually as mentioned. Many thanks for joining me, Chief.
Yeah, thank you and good evening.
Yes, very pleased to have you on the broadcast today. You have witnessed, Chief, many elections in the country, and indeed the few electoral commission chairpersons. Well, what can you say about Professor Mahmood Yakubu now that he's served the country for 10 years, one full decade of stewardship?
Well, first and foremost, there is no other person who has spent more than 5 years as chairman of any independent election, whether dependent or independent election tribunal or commission in this country.
Yes.
I can even, if you start First Republic, didn't work. Under Shagari, Chief Michael Ani, it didn't work. That's not more than 5 years. Then during the military, Babangida, you have Jack, then you have Humphrey Wosu. Then, of course, we move forward. The two people from Edo State, one is Supreme Court judge who died. They go by there who succeeded him. They didn't work that long. Boris who came in, then took off. Nobody actually spent more than 5 years.
Yes.
So it is an innovation that Professor Mahmood became the only person. Now the question we're asking is this: having conducted more elections than anybody, is there any sign that there was an improvement or that he learned anything? Did this country benefit from his experience? I would say no. With a loud no. 2019, yes, somebody can say, okay, we'll pardon him for making some mistakes at the presidential election. Remember that in the year 2020, Felix Okoye came in as the chief spokesman, or rather a director, and was the national commissioner. It was a lot of change. He assured us that Professor Mahmood Yakubu will do a wonderful job. He convinced everybody. And so 2023 came. The very experiment he made in Edo State election in the year 2020, he could not repeat it in 2023. The discord he brought into our electoral system is shocking. Let me just explain it more. Till today, people are still waiting for the certified true copy of the results of the 2023 election. Peter Obi and Atiku applied for it They were asked to pay. They paid. Up till now, they have not received a copy. And at the tribunal, they couldn't file the copy because the copy did not come. And what did INEC say? Oh, there were glitches. To even show how ridiculous it was, Senatorial House of Reps and presidential elections were conducted same day. There were no glitches in the Senatorial House of Reps elections. The only glitches we had was President, whereas it is the same process. I can say this without any fear of contradiction. Professor Mahmood Yakubu is a failure. I'm ashamed to say I've known him long before he entered that office. And when he became chairman, I called him to congratulate him and wish him well. But this time I will not call him because I'm ashamed that the man to whom much has been given, we had nothing but setbacks. Election is coming in the next 2 years. Believe you me, whoever is coming has a lot of work to do to assure us that our votes will count. Right. That's my answer.
So from your standpoint, Professor Mahmood Yakubu leaves no legacy behind, having served for 10 years, as you mentioned, the longest so far. Well, let's talk about, just very quickly before we get to you've just started to talk about setting the tone, or started a conversation around setting the tone for the next man or woman who could be at the helm. Let's talk about his time there. Pardon me, Professor Mahmood's time there, and talk about the failures that you have mentioned. Some of those glitches, technical glitches, as mentioned by the commission, some other issues. You would remember that during his time, which was not new to his tenure really, there were logistical issues relating to the late arrival of materials and the rest to polling units. Can you completely blame the chairman of the commission for things like this? You talk about the technical glitch experienced, even though assurances were given. It wasn't necessarily, though, yeah, people say the buck stops on his table, but wasn't necessarily his job primarily, to get these things fixed on the go? Talking logistics too, when plans were made, can you completely blame the chairman of the commission for people working with him, in the entire, value chain, not doing what they should do?
Well, if he had made these mistakes in 2019, we'll say, yes, that is best election. But they are talking of a second national election, 2023. You are talking of so many elections that he conducted. When he went to Edo in 2020, it was like, oh yes, we have now found somebody. In Edo election, people were watching the results as they were creeping in. People were comparing what was in IReV board and what they had. And confidence built up that 2023 will be fair and foul, a fair election. But believe me, till today, we are still waiting for certified true copies of the results. We are waiting. It's an administrative decision. When the leaders of the parties met him, he assured them. He said, go and pay. And they paid. On the eve of the last deadline, what did he do? He said, oh, go to the various states. Go to the 36 states. Go there. He never told them at the beginning. A day to the election, he told them that. And you think such a person tried? Let me put it this way so you can understand the enormity. I took the bar exam once and passed. What if I had taken it 3, 4, 5 times? Do you have an idea how many elections that man called Prof. Mahmood Yakubu conducted in this country? I can name some of them: Osun, Ondo, the national elections, Edo, Anambra, Imo, all kinds of states. And the last one, of course, we know what it was. The complaints in Odo and Edo are still there. The same nature of complaints. OPEC results, OPEC electoral system, impenetrable system that you conduct election, those that conduct election for do not know what they are doing. As for whether he is responsible, I will tell you without any fear of contradiction, the buck stops on his table. He appointed all the people who were manning the various places. It was his signature that posted people to various states. It was his signature that said, this is the date. He presided over the meetings of INEC. There was no external body. Professor Jega before him was able to build on independence. But as soon as Mahmoud came, what did he do? He quickly went kowtowing to the powers that be, the executive. Under Buhari, we had a messed up system. Unfortunately, under Tinubu, nothing has changed. And there's one mistake people keep making.
Yes.
He did not step aside. He proceeded on terminal leave. His tenure is almost over.
Yes.
So it is not a favor to us that he stepped aside. No. I read that and I was amused. He was on his way out. Time, a fraction of time meant he had to go. Professor Apata didn't even have that chance. He died in office. Oh, Justice Apata.
Yeah. All right. Let's very quickly talk about what the future holds. The president most likely would have, picked his choice candidate for the role to replace Professor Mahmood Yakubu. He meets with the Council of State tomorrow, and there are speculations that he will be presenting the name to the Council of States, comprising, of course, that particular council. We made in that meeting, that gathering would be former heads of state, former president, the only former president of the country who won't be there, sadly, would be the late former president Muhammadu Buhari. But former president Olusegun Obasanjo, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Shehu Shagari, and the rest will be present there. So he'll be presenting the name to, most likely, we hear it could be presenting the name of his choice candidate to them. Let's set an agenda for, the next chairperson of the Electoral Commission. What would you like to see, Chief Godi? Well, my own is a wish, but my brain tells me it's a waste of time. Let me explain it. The Constitution requires him to consult the council, former presidents, the governors, the Chief Justice, President of Senate, and Speaker. Yes. As
it is today, virtually all of them are under the beck and call, of Mr. President. Obasanjo, I doubt if he will be there. Jonathan may show up because he's a gentleman. Babangida and Abdul Salami are not in the best of health. Gowon, yes, may be there. So what do you expect? It's a walkover for whoever he appoints. And when the name is sent to the Senate for confirmation, you don't need to be told that Fabio's promise, anything the president wants, who started under Buhari, he gets. Remember, it was Ahmad, the former Senate president, who said it. Whatever he wants, he will get. But let me just add a note of caution. When Obasanjo was appointing the only chairman of INEC, in fact, the second, because the first one was Gobadia, second one was Morrissey. He went outside his own zone, went outside the Southwest. When Jonathan was appointing, he went outside South-South. He went north. But when Buhari was appointing, he just went to neighboring states and chose a boy. And now we hear from the grapevine that our current president is also going to appoint somebody from next door to come and conduct the election between him and other people. So you don't need to be told that things are not looking good. Not looking good. I'm just going to be sincere. It is difficult to get another Jonathan. It's only Jonathan who will appoint somebody asking for preconditions. All the others will now look for, oh boy, I hope you favor me. Let's get the guarantees. So I'm sorry to say it, but my suspicion is that we're on the wrong road.
Let's talk about this appointment process, Chief Gotti, before we wrap things, right? Do you think we should continue on this path? The president consults with the Council of State, nominate his choice candidate to the Senate for confirmation. The Senate confirms, returns name to president. President, completes the process, appoints that person, and the person begins working. There have been a few recommendations. The political parties, registered political parties in the country under the inter-party coalition
advisory
committee council or something, yeah, inter-party council as they are called, a committee, yeah, they have recommended an independent body to make this appointment. Just while they do that, the national secretary of the African Democratic Congress, former governor of Osun State and former minister, immediate past minister of Interior in the country, Benny Rauf, has now recommended too that political parties who have, at least 5 lawmakers at the National Assembly should be made to, appoint or nominate the chairperson for the Independent National Electoral Commission. Is this the way to go? Do you align with any of these 3 recommendations, or you have yours?
Well, the weak part of this recommendation is that the power to appoint INEC chairman is constitutional. So to have a change in the procedure, you need to amend the constitution. So Rauf was there with Buhari for 8 years. They had a chance. Even as they were going to make the proper changes, they didn't. Now I cannot see Tinubu making any change, any constitutional change for the benefit of this country. One thing I will always say is that a bad system benefits people, and those who benefit from it do not see anything wrong with the system. I'm just being sincere. They don't see anything wrong in the present system where Mr. President appoints the referee in the match he's going to play. You only have somebody like Jonathan who will be honest enough to give them freedom. When Buhari was there, his niece was a member of the commission. Before he left, another niece was there. So now Tinubu from the grapevine I hear is going to appoint a familiar name. Do you think that person will now be honest and straightforward? It's not Humphrey Wars. It's Humphrey Wars who will do an honest job and fall down with it and take the punishment lying down. So we are in trouble. In the past 10 years, the APC has been in power, and everything that will possibly go wrong has gone wrong with INEC.
Well, we'll leave things there today. We've been talking about the, exit, if you like. A safer word to use would be the exit of Professor Mahmood Yakubu.